Hey, this is Jeff with the Building Boys. By trade, I'm a chiropractor, and I own other real estate ventures such as extended stay suites and long-term rentals. One day a week, I grow my passive income portfolio. In these videos, I will be working alongside my father building our next passive income stream, a senior citizen fourplex. Watch our videos and repeat the process for yourself so you can become financially free.
Hey everybody, it's Jeff with the Building Boys, and we are done with drywall. It's been a little bit since I've done a video. I did hire out all the drywall. The guy that I have do it for me is just incredibly reasonable price, incredibly fair. He never has any gotcha invoices. It's this much per square foot. So when I have a subcontractor that is like that and has a well itemized bill, or you just know what to expect, I'm going to hire them all day. I can then work on another project. So he got it all hung, mudded, and textured. I always use orange peel on my drywall. There's knockdown. There's all kinds of other ones. I personally like knockdown look better. But when it comes to touching up, like let's say someone rammed their head in there and you got a hole to pop up, orange peel is always the easiest to fix, with just a can of texture. You can match this a lot easier than a knockdown. And a lot of times you can pretty much notice right where someone patched with knockdown. But like I said, knockdown I do like, but orange peel, it's the easiest to repair. Okay, so what we're gonna start doing is painting. So I bought this sprayer 7 years ago for $200. I don't know, Graco Magnum. To be honest, I don't even know if it runs. It's been a couple years. I'm hoping we have one more job out of it. If not, I'll have to go run and buy another cheap one. Just buy a cheap one. I've been really happy with this brand. Like I said, I've done so many houses and apartments with this thing. It has paid for itself. I always use a little extender. I put a 517 spray tip, a brand new one, just to make sure it worked. I'm using 5-gallon buckets of mud or primer. There's all different brands. I've just found that this brand goes through my sprayer really well. And so we got you have to get everything masked off. Windows. We don't have this door masked off yet because I'm going in and out of it a little bit. But we got window masked off. I'm still putting newspaper in the outlets. Just be nice to your electrician, because you spray that all white, they're going to have a hard time seeing what's black wire, what's red wire, what's white wire. And so I'm not quite done with that, but it does not take long to spray primer. And after that, we're going to go put on ceiling paint. I always get the ceiling paint that's got it's flat, bright white, but it's got a tint of pink on it while you apply it, because sometimes you'll get confused as to what you've painted and what you haven't. And so I'll spray everything with a primer. I'll immediately just turn around. I won't even clean out the sprayer. I'll just dump it in ceiling paint. And while it's still mixing primer and ceiling paint, I'll start spraying closets that aren't as important. There's no reason to waste a half a gallon emptying out your sprayer. Just spray this with a mixture of primer and ceiling. By the time you get the closets done, you'll be with pure ceiling paint. And then I'll go around and I'll spray the edge. So then you have a little bit of overlay into the wall, but you're going to get a 6-7 inch line. That way, when we power roll the ceilings, we don't have to edge. All right, you guys can just go ahead and watch. All right, so my sprayer actually does work still. Yay! So this sprayer is actually designed for 1-gallon jugs. So the gallon is supposed to hook around here and just sit right here. This sits into the 1 gallon. Working with 1-gallon jobs when you're dealing with big jobs is just a pain. So I use 5 gallons. I just set it up here on a 5-gallon bucket, tie it up so it doesn't flip over. This is a little stiff just because I haven't moved it in a while, so I got to get that down a little bit. But you have to prime. So this lever right here, when you flick that up, it'll get all the air sucked out of this line. This is all kind of covered up with paint now, but right here it says prime. So I just had it there, and then you'll start seeing bubbles. That means it's getting the air out of the hose. You'll notice the machine will actually sound a little bit different. I know this is super subjective, but you'll hear the machine sound a little bit different when all the bubbles are out. Flip this back down. So this is... Now we're primed. All right, let's get to work.
Okay, so I forgot that I have a bunch of mineral spirits in the line. Whenever you let a sprayer just sit, you don't want to just have the hoses and everything just sit dry and empty. You want to run mineral spirits through it. So when you're about ready to be done with the sprayer for a specific period of time, get a gallon of mineral spirits and suck it through all the hoses and just let it dry. So spray, and I forgot that I had mineral spirits. So I just shot out mineral spirits. So now I'm just spraying all that into a bucket just to get it down to actual primer. I think we're down to the actual. All right, so I got it going. So I'm going to kind of show you guys how this is going. Okay, guys, make sure to wear a respirator. This stuff's pretty nasty. And when you're spraying, you want to keep about 16 inches away from the wall. And you want to do a fluid motion. Don't slow down, don't speed up, and go all the way past the corner, then stop. Then pull the trigger, do the corner. Don't start on the drywall, or else you're going to have a thick spot and you're going to have to paint that up because you already got runs, okay? So just try and be as fluid as possible. I'm going to try to put this on speed mode so you can watch it a little bit. All right, everybody, we are getting going pretty darn good, and I had to get a new sprayer. My 7-year-old one did take a crap. I got the exact same thing here.
The Magnum Project Painter Plus by Greco. That's a pretty good product. $260. I bought this extra extender. You don't have to. Everything I'm using came out of the box with Greco, except this. But it just keeps it so I don't have to raise my arm up as much. But it is kind of a pain in the closet. The other thing I want to talk about, when you take a break, even if it's for 5 minutes, you got to have a bucket of water to put this into, okay? I'm not going to paint tomorrow. I won't come back for 2 days. I'll just shut the machine off, put that in water, and as long as it's airtight, you're good to go. All right, you guys, I got one apartment done. It took me, I don't know, 2 hours, maybe, not even. Had one little spill. That's okay. So, yeah. It doesn't take long to get that primer on. We'll go do the other apartment. Then we'll switch over to ceiling paint. All right, stay tuned, you guys.
All right, you guys, it is day 2. I am going to say I made a little bit of a mistake as far as my cleanliness. I did not realize how much paint I was getting on myself, so I am going to be wearing my gown today. So before I get any comments about you're an idiot, yes, I am. And I learned from my mistake. I need to wear my gown. I had to get a haircut because I could not get the primer out of my hair. I didn't realize how much it was just kind of in the air and I was walking through it. But live and learn. So we're going to finish priming. We only got probably 20 minutes of priming. I'm going to go then back into the living spaces and hit it with primer lightly. Just once again, this is going to be the most unforgiving as far as natural light in a big space. So I just want to make sure that you cannot see the joints where the drywall was mudded. And I don't think we'll have any issues, but it's not going to take me long to just hit this with primer one more time
and then we'll turn around and start spraying on the ceiling paint. I was going to use a roller that you can use with the sprayer where it shoots the paint from the inside of the roller out. It's an awesome product, but to be honest, this new sprayer is doing a great job of not leaving lines on the top and bottom of the where you're spraying. With my sprayer before, you would see like a heavy line of paint on the either end, so it wouldn't look very good when you sprayed it. But this looks pretty darn good. Like, I can't see these lines, so they must have switched something in the sprayer. So I'm not going to worry about using a back roller on the ceiling. I'm just going to spray that. To be honest, I might just spray the walls. We'll see how it goes, and I'll show you how I do that. And let's get to work. All right, so I got my suit on, respirator. I am not going to wear goggles. Someone will probably say you need to wear goggles. I've tried that before, and all I'm doing is wiping the goggles, and I can't see anything. All right, you guys, so I got all the prime done. And what you want to do is just double check your drywall guy. This guy was just so cheap, and he does a great job, but it's not perfect. So I get a tube, a big stretch. Sometimes in the corner, he gets it going a little too quick, and it's just not perfect. Like, it's not bad, but after you prime, you can see imperfections. So you just run down the corners, a little big stretch, and it'll fill it in just perfectly. So, take your time, about an hour or so of this. So it's worth every penny to have a drywall guy that's a little bit cheaper and spend an hour of your time and fix it. All right, cool cats and kittens. As I quote Tiger King, we got the ceiling completely done. I did, kind of one way, and then I'd come back and just spray perpendicular just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Now, I was talking about lines. I do have lines with this ceiling. I'm hoping it just dries out, but not really sure what was going on there. So now I'll get this sprayer all cleaned out, and we'll move over to first coat of the walls. So I'm probably going to spray on first coat because it's just fast. I'll be kind of quick with it. I'm not going to be super thick. I'm just going to keep it moving because I'm going to come back around with the power roller. So time to get this bad boy cleaned up. Sprayers are a great product, but they're also kind of a mess. I had to duct tape this because my throttle, which basically says how much paint to throw out, I pretty much had it almost to full, and it kept on throttling down, so I just had to makeshift tape that thing in place. All right, everybody, the sidewalls are going on slick as snot. I have literally been painting for maybe 15 minutes, and you might not be able to see it. I'm not really sure because I'm doing Dover white. So reasoning is it's a smaller apartment. We only have 5 windows, so we don't want it to feel claustrophobic. We want it to be as bright as possible. So to do the edge, I don't know if you can see that or not. I just have like a 1-inch bead all around the top. All I use is a piece of foam, shove it up in the corner, and spray underneath it, and then I can come back and trim that later. Don't get in a big hurry. You can probably see a little bit better here where I've painted. I stopped about a foot down, and then I'll come back and trim with that foam board, and I'll show you that here. So don't get too crazy. Just stop. There, you can see that pretty well. You don't want to get up too high because you don't want to have to retouch up the ceilings, okay? But yeah, this is going on so fast, it's ridiculous. I am using Bayer Premium Plus. It is the cheapest Bayer paint out there. But tell you what, it is pretty darn good. It's going on slick, and I'm using Dover White. It's technically a Sherwin-Williams color, but any company can match it. You can use any paint, really. This is honestly one of the cheaper ones and great reviews. And I use a satin. All right, the one thing you do want to watch out for is when you're using this to spray, this is going to get full of paint. So you got to roll that off every now and then. Because as you can see right there, we got a pretty good dab. So we got to get that dabbed off. So just kind of be cognizant of that. Okay, guys, I don't know if you can see this color. It's just a really pretty color. Once again, it's called Dover White. It's got a little bit of a yellow hint to it, and it is really making this apartment really look big. You don't want to get with a dark color with a smaller apartment. But we're going to do one more coat. Like I said, this coat only took an hour, which is just insane. But just to make sure we have, you know, a really good coating, now's the time. I don't want to come back after we have trim on and be like, oh, maybe I should have done another coat. Just to make sure. But man, that looks good. You can kind of see that line where I put the foam board up against the wall, so I can just trim a 1-inch thing while I stand on the scaffold and just buzz right around. All right, let's get to it. Also, all these inside corners, they're just not the prettiest, so I'm gonna go run around with caulk. All right, guys, 2 hours in again, and we got the second coat done, and it's looking really nice. It's even looking a little bit more yellow, which lets me know that I didn't have a full coat, so I'm really glad we did go ahead and throw one more coat on there. And probably not today, but we'll just trim that 1 inch, 2 coats on that. I'm just gonna get the sprayer all cleaned up. Kind of a pain, but get this all cleaned up. Get mineral spirits in the line so it doesn't dry out. Get this all stored away. Then I'm gonna go get my shop vac and suck up all the dust from the paint. Make sure you use a special shop vac because you're probably gonna blow out 25% of it out the back end if you just use a regular shop vac. I think it's called like a HEPA shop vac. It's got a lot more filters in it. All right, guys, stay tuned.